Yes,
do
yes.
you want to try and explain to people that haven't been on one of our ARK Invest calls what goes down, like the
Oh,
level of the
oh
source?
man, I gotta jump on the camera for this one, guys. You are not ready for this. This one here is
Mhm.
different level. Ark Invest, we only look at the top players in the game, right? And what's going on with what they're doing is really different level. And the level of the game that we give as well with this here
Right.
is unmatched. I mean, the level of knowledge and information that we're releasing out here is coming directly from the source, to put it in
There's
no better
literally
terms.
the best researching company in tech,
Oh,
apart from McKinsey, maybe. Apart from
better
maybe
than the
Masari. But yeah.
this is better than the grayscale info.
Yeah, this is where we got the grayscale info. This is where we get all of our this is where we get the foundations for our info from, and then we just expand on it from here. That's the way that it works. So we
Oh,
find out what we're looking for here, and then we go and do our own extra research from there.
okay.
So in fact, let me just do a little disclaimer. You know what time it is, guys. You can go to the
Yeah.
Blockchain Sensei website. There's going to be online courses coming real soon, so make sure
Oh
you
yeah.
check in. And then one day you might even see a little copy trading thing. And then one day you might even see a little link to download the app. But
Okay.
say no more.
Big things are going on.
Big things are going, my G. So
Sure.
let's do this disclaimer. All our content is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only, and should not be considered as investment advice or recommendation to buy, sell, hold any assets, or place any trades. It is only a coincidence that some of the things that I say happen in reality. It's a coincidence that I told Debem that Chevron will go up and it went up. It's a coincidence that I told about Core Scientific, it went up and then it got bought out. It's a coincidence that I said Netflix and Facebook would go up and they've done 100%. It's just a coincidence. So please do your own research on everything that I'm saying. Our content is intended and should only be used for informational use. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment, which should be based on your own individual circumstances. You should always take independent professional advice from a professional advisor. Now, is there any professional financial advisors on the call today? Speak now or forever hold your peace. There are no financial advisors. So please independently research and verify all information you may find on the show that you wish to rely upon, whether you wish to make an investment decision or otherwise, as all investments do come with what?
Come on. They come with risk.
Risk.
There we go. So you please do your own what?
You go
Research.
do your own
Diligence.
research.
Exactly. So we are not financial advisors and do not intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors. However, we are actually working with not one, not two, not three, but several accredited advisors. So if you're unable to mitigate your risk, and please contact us immediately so we can refer you to an accredited advisor. Okay, so let's get into the source. Let's get into the source, straight into this ARK Invest paper. The game. I've lost the paper now. Hold up. Oh, it's already open. That's why. Shame. I can't wait until I can just think things with my head and then it just happens. So, Big Ideas 2023. The most important thing about this paper is this is the paper where they actually broke down the convergence. No other paper have they broken down the convergence like this before. In other papers, they've shown this picture, but they've never broken it down. Now, what is the convergence? The convergence is basically how different emerging technologies are going to start linking together and basically just turning into a big bubble of technology that all help each other. And the main thing that's in the center of this that they believe is going to cause the biggest impact is neural networks. Now, what are neural networks? Neural networks are what you train AI systems on. It's basically the data that AI is trained on, and then you basically own it. So let's say, for example, the best neural network to explain is Tesla's neural network. So every single Tesla car that's out there at the moment is picking up the driver's data and the data of the cars around it. So every single Tesla car is basically like a feeder to the neural network. And this neural network of data of how people drive just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. Now, Tesla can then sell this neural network to other car companies. And this is why we've said for a very long time that Tesla is not a car company. It's an AI and robotics and energy storage company. But people seem to look at it like it's a car company and think it's not that great of a car company. Guess what? It might not be that great of a car company, but from some of the research we're going to show you today, there is no better neural network or AI data gathering company in the automation and car space. So in terms of importance as a catalyst and the impact it's going to have, the most important one that's going to have it's going to have a 4.3 order of magnitude impact on the other technologies is neural networks, then digital wallets. And as we can see up at the top, adaptive robotics is the one that's going to have the lowest impact. Now, relativity to other things, autonomous mobility is going to have the highest relativity, and then smart contracts. So that basically means we're probably going to see autonomous vehicles working together with smart contracts. So AI chatbots are what's going to drive the taxi. So I'm just going to go to everything that I've highlighted. So this, again, was a massive piece of information. So robots learn from experience thanks to advances in AI language models and advanced robotics. So what we saw in 2022 was a massive jump. So this basically explains that before, what was happening is robots, when they'd seen a task that before, 72% of the time they would get it accurate. Now with the new updates in AI language models, they now get it accurate 97% of the time if it's a task that they've seen before. Now this is where it gets amazing, is it's now 76% of the time that AI language models and AI robots programmed by AI, can get a new task correct 76% of the time. That is more than what they used to be able to do last year on tasks that they had seen before. So that's, you can basically take an AI into a room, a robot into a room, certain robots, probably like packing robots and warehouse robots, put it in a room and it will just figure out what to do on its own 76% of the time. So that's very interesting information. So cryptocurrency mining can support larger solar battery installations. So this is where I'm seeing a lot of the big energy companies like Chevron, like Esso, and most definitely the House of Saud and Kuwait are going to be applying solar battery crypto mining. Why would they do that? I wonder if they've got access to good sunlight in those countries. I wonder if people are using less oil and they need to diversify. Yeah, they do. So again, I think it's a massive geopolitical thing. The Middle East getting into solar-based Bitcoin mining. I think it's completely misunderestimated, like how powerful that is. They've got the money from oil, and now they're going to have the money from Bitcoin mining if they do it. So they'll just always remain the richest people on the planet. Well, not the richest, but some of the richest people on the planet. So let's go to the next one that I highlighted. So disruptive innovation platforms could constitute the majority of global equity market value by 2030. Now, when I go through this, you just have to remember how quickly time is going. I'm going to say 2030 a lot in this, and it's going to feel like, oh yeah, 2030, that's far away. Guys, lockdown was almost 4 years ago. So 2030 is actually 7 years away. Like, it's not far away. Like, you're going to blink and all the things that we're saying in this paper are going to become a reality. So by 2030, the forecast at the moment, AI contributes 13 trillion to the global economy at the moment. Now, it's predicted that these innovative technologies are going to contribute 200, just AI, energy storage, robotics, and genomic sequencing and public blockchains are going to scale 15-fold and contribute 200 trillion by 2030. So just ask yourself, are you in the right industries? That's the key question to ask. So artificial intelligence. The tools are improving the productivity of knowledge workers, 2x in the case of AI coding assistants. And the thing that I've been stressing about and that worries me the most about AI is the annual rate of training costs is declining by 70% per year. So we're going to look at that in more detail right now. So let's go and have a look at what that means. So in terms of time to complete coding tasks, this is dropping significantly by about 55%. So a coding task that would have taken 160 minutes now takes 80 to 70 minutes, and probably by the end of the year will be about 30 minutes. The same task that you would have hired a dev for, and it would have taken 6 months to do, because they were getting it with GitHub. We're going to see the main impact of that is that the world as we know it at the moment is built with bricks, but not much of it. The new builders of the world are developers, and what used to do constantly in the world, we see new updates, we see new things happening all the time, but it used to take a long time to get to a stage where developers could churn things out really quickly. But now with smart contracts and bounties and AI, it means that things are going to get done way quicker. And as we can see, the human cost of graphic design used to cost around £150, $150, and it would take a designer 5 hours. That can now be done in 1 minute using AI. And if you're really interested in this AI design stuff, the number one leading company for AI that nobody even realizes is actually NVIDIA, who've been up 100% and odd this year as well. And
oh man, NVIDIA are killing it. Listen, bro, I was doing some AI music deep research. They've got music AI on a wrap. I swear they had like 4 companies that were funded by them, and they were like the leading companies.
They own it. Everyone thinks it's
crazy.
It's OpenAI, but guess who OpenAI is funded by and who's creating the hardware for them? NVIDIA. Guess who's Google's AI is backed by? NVIDIA. So they've actually got a monopoly on the game, but nobody realizes.
I got a quick question in terms of like the graphic design by AI.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there, like, I saw recently there's an artist who came out, she claimed that Mid-Journey, like someone rendered something on Mid-Journey, and it was basically her intellectual property. Like, is that going to be an issue in
Yeah,
the future?
I saw that.
100% is going to be an issue. However, NVIDIA have already solved that, because NVIDIA have already got partnerships with Adobe and already got partnerships with Shutterstock and with Getty Images that provide all the stock images for things. So what's happening is Getty Images are going to release their version of Mid-Journey. So nobody has more stock images than Getty Images.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
so
All
yeah.
right, time to pivot then.
Saying that but then the stock images are images of realistic things, but we were saying the intellectual property comes into play when it's things that are like fantasy made up subjects, because then for AI to be able to produce that, they are fed work that's already been created by an artist that created the fantasy world.
Okay.
So that's where it would come into play the most.
So this is the issue that I've brought up in the House of Lords and in the House of Commons that nobody is addressing, and that is that to train something to the level of GPT-3, not GPT-4, the old one, in 2020, that cost 4.6 million. How many companies got 4.6 million spare? Quite a lot. In 2022, that cost 740,000 to train something like that. How many companies have got 740,000? Quite a lot. But actually, it didn't even cost 740,000 to train GPT-3. It cost 450,000. And by 2030, it's going to cost $30 for someone to have the equivalent of ChatGPT.
I mean, but when it has a lot of users, the upkeep rate was insane, though.
Yeah,
that's
at the moment
thing.
it's 10 million per billion searches, but that's going to drop as well. So let's keep going.
AI coming soon, yeah.
Yeah. So output of human coding tasks, as we can see, because of platforms like GitHub Copilot, we're going to see a 10-fold increase in coding productivity by 2030. At the moment, it's made developers 3 times more efficient, but by 2030, they're going to be 10 times more efficient. And what I'm predicting is going to happen is, you see how things are written in code like this, with Java, with C++, all of that stuff, that's going to get wiped out. All coding languages is going to get wiped out. And it's just going to be replaced by just English.
Oh shit.
Wow, you reckon?
Yep. Because it just makes more sense.
Hmm.
So what will happen is the AI will code it on the back end in these languages, but on the front end, you'll just type it in English.
Oh my god.
So yeah, look out for that. So cost declines should enable mass adoption of sophisticated AI chatbots. So this is what Keisha was just talking about. So the run rate of the billion searches on ChatGPT is currently around 10 million. But this is by 2030 will be around $650. So yeah, things are getting crazy. So just from AI alone, it's predicted that with a 4.5% productivity uplift for just everybody on the planet, that would contribute 29 trillion to global markets potentially. So digital consumers, so this is again very interesting and quite logical. Artificial intelligence should increase time spent on digital entertainment, which makes sense because if people have more time, they're going to spend more time on their phones and watch more stuff. And I'm guilty of that. Since I've been using AI tools, I have found myself watching more YouTube. So that does happen. So yeah. However, my YouTube algorithm is highly tweaked to show me stuff to do with AI. Like highly rigged my YouTube. Like if you want a session on how to hack your YouTube and TikTok so that it shows you stuff that's only productive and doesn't show you crap, then let me know. So the demand for sports betting is actually increasing despite what's happening in the global economy. Now, the reason I put esports here is because this is the area that I think is going to make the betting space explode. From what I'm seeing in the blockchain gaming space, a big area that people are looking at is gambling. So this is where I feel gaming companies are going to find ways around giving their players a gambling license if they're over 18. So once KYC comes into FIFA and Call of Duty and whatever, people will be over 18. Gaming companies will be able to know someone's over 18 and allow them to gamble on their matches with tokens. And that is going to create a whole different ball game and people will watch. That will make people want to watch the games even more if you know it's X celebrity versus X celebrity or X esports player versus X esports player, and they're betting some NFT land versus that's worth 10 million. Like people are going to watch that. So yeah, very, very, very interesting. So this I found crazily interesting. So this one might need to go in our metaverse stuff, Keish. No, in our lesson, we might need to put this in there. So, attendance at physical amusement parks versus branded virtual worlds. Virtual worlds are getting more attendees than physical places. So, Universal Studios Japan is here just around the 20 million mark, just below 20 million. Tokyo Disneyland basically is around just under 20 as well. Tokyo Disneyland about 19. Disneyland Park around 19. Magic Kingdom theme park at Walt Disney just over 20. Nightland is got more visitors per year than the Disneylands. Now, where it gets crazy is the Tommy Hilfiger has got more. That's in Roblox, gets more visitors annually than Universal Studios Japan and the Disneylands in Japan. Just about, which is pretty crazy. And how much does it cost to advertise there or set up land there? Way cheaper than getting space in Universal Studios Japan. So I think yeah, I think this is something to definitely pay attention to. And this is pre-COVID attendance, these numbers. So
Yeah, but that's because people can go for free with
Is it
university.
also 'cause-
It's you literally to now to take your kids to Universal Studios and Disneyland or whatever you literally need like between 5 to 10K.
I guess
for
also
a
because
proper
like,
trip.
is it also because mostly children are on Roblox and stuff like that? So
yeah. What for most parents, the kids don't even have to go to Disneyland anymore that much, from what I understand.
man, they're just on Roblox.
If it was play Roblox for a year or go to Disneyland,
They're not that bothered.
they're not bothered.
Mad.
So, and wait until AR glasses come out.
Yeah, long day.
They'll just be able to make Disneyland in their back garden.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a fact. Yeah.
So it's pretty mad. So this is the interesting part based on stuff that I'm reading from Goldman and BlackRock and Fidelity, that are all getting in on the crypto game. Property rights, digital assets should accrue significant value, and property rights becoming NFTs will actually increase the average person's the average GDP per capita. So at the moment, that's just because people will be able to access property a lot quicker and a lot easier. So that's those. So digital wallets, this I found super interesting. So this is the percentage of the market share that digital wallets have over other types of payment methods. As we know, cash is just dying. It now makes up less than 10% of all global e-commerce, cash on delivery, that is. Debit card is less than 20, and then digital wallets make up over 50% globally. And then in terms of payments via point of sale, so that's, when you go to a store and you tap your card or you put your card in, digital wallets now make up almost 30% of those payments. That was in 2021. So I would love to see what that looks like now. So yeah, cash, not only cash is dead, but cards and credit cards are dying.
Is it because people use them like online banks?
Yep. People are just using their phone and just going, doop. So here's I think we showed this last year. And it's the amount of digital wallets being opened in comparison to new accounts being opened by JP Morgan. So we can see digital wallets is just smoking them. At the moment, 200 million digital wallets open, and JP Morgan's at just over 50 million wallets. So yeah, that's crazy info. And that's probably because of this. So we're going to probably put this in our university lessons as well. So you can see the steps and the processes and all the middlemen that are involved in the transaction. With all these transactions, there's a total of 9 steps with anything that you purchase, which is ridiculous. Look at this. You buy something, it goes to the payment service provider, then it goes to the acquirer, then it goes to the card networks, then it goes to the issuer, then it goes to the buyer, then the buyer sends it back to the issuer, and then it goes back to the card networks, and then back to the acquirer, and then back to the payment service provider, and then back to the seller. And all these companies are making money for no reason when you could just go from the buyer to the digital wallet to the seller.
Nice and easy.
Yep. So there's literally, it's literally a non-argument case, like digital wallets. Like you just can't even argue it. So public blockchains, exciting stuff. So some of these facts I've said on previous episodes, but I think we should go over them again. So the problem is there's 4 billion people that live under authoritarian regimes. 2 billion people suffer from double-digit inflation. 1 billion people cannot use traditional payment transfer apps, and 1 people rely on remittances. Now, transfer volume in Bitcoin was 38.7 trillion in 2022. Transaction count was 95.4 million. Total addresses is actually up 147.5 million addresses. Addresses with a balance is up 3.75 million, and miner revenue is up 9.5 billion. So yeah, if you're a Bitcoin miner, good times to be you. So then the data again, 1.2 trillion in DeFi trading volume, up 12x from 2020 to 2022. So if people are telling you DeFi is dead, they're dead. 52% increase in DeFi trading volume after the FTX collapse, and 9 trillion on-chain transfers. That's more than MasterCard, Amex, and Discover combined in 2022. That is shocking. So that might mean that you might want to invest in some DeFi stuff. So I'm not saying which DeFi platforms, but Ethereum is the main DEX is Uniswap. Then you've got other DEXs that you can use like SushiSwap and so on and so forth. However, there's only one significant one for Binance, and that is PancakeSwap. So if Binance disappears or gets into a legal issue or problem, what do we think would happen to PancakeSwap and the value of PancakeSwap's tokens?
Crash and burn.
You think PancakeSwap will crash and burn?
I don't know if Binance gets into trouble. No, if that
If
was
Binance gets into trouble, it will increase the transactions on
The
PancakeSwap.
decentralized exchanges.
okay.
People have nowhere else to go.
Okay.
So 5 million unique IDs, 22 billion in annual NFT trading volume, up 15% in 2022. Let's keep going. So Bitcoin, I'm not going to do too much on Bitcoin because we've got a whole dedicated episode that we've done to on-chain metrics before. However, we are going to just pause here. Institutions are committed to Bitcoin during a bear market. What are the chances? So BlackRock, as we know, they've already partnered. We've highlighted the BlackRock and Coinbase thing for so long, and everyone's just ignoring what we're saying about Coinbase, and we're just I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. If you know, you know now.
And if there's any news that's pumping out negative stuff, whatever's going on, just know that they work with BlackRock, so they'll be all right.
Not only BlackRock, they're integrated into Aladdin. Now, Aladdin is the system that is used for the Federal Reserve and the Japanese bank and the Bank of England to trade money with each other and for them to buy assets in companies. So, yeah, about Gary Gensler having beef with Coinbase. Gary Gensler is going to get a quick backhand and put to sleep if he's not careful.
It's day of reckoning for Gary Gensler.
Yeah, I think it's just a show, to be honest with you. Especially because a lot of the stuff that I've seen in the TV show Billions is becoming real. I cannot stress how good that show is. Please watch the TV show Billions. It just lets you know how this shit all works. And the whole thing with the egg prices and chickens going up, that's in Billions, and it's happening right now.
Oh, don't let me get started on that, man. That one is they're doing a lot with that. There's a lot of unseen circumstances happening with a lot of farms. That's all I can say.
Yep. Watch that episode of Billions. It's called Chicken Coop. But anyway, so yeah, let's keep going. Smart contract networks. Is there anything I've highlighted here? No, I didn't highlight anything there. Precision therapies. I'm sure I must have highlighted something. That's so bad. I didn't highlight anything in precision therapies. That's so bad. Okay, let me just find something to talk about here. Lifetime of direct cost of treatment for hereditary disorders. So, oh yeah, I did highlight this. I'm sure I did. ARC's base case forecast is 30 billion, though approvals for disease like type 1 diabetes could scale the category to 60 billion in 2030. So this is gene editing stuff. So gene editing tools, they're already curing things like sickle cell. I'm already aware about that one. That you can get some gene editing stuff that removes your sickle cell pretty much, or reduces the impact of it quite dramatically. And it's almost affordable now. And then these are the other hereditary diseases that they feel can generate a lot of money. So yeah, let's go on to molecular cancer diagnostics. So this is, I definitely highlighted this. Why is this not there? Okay, anyway. So since 1990, whilst the age-adjusted mortality rate for cardiovascular diseases has dropped more than 50%, that for cancers only declined 19%. So alongside improved therapies, emerging diagnostics could result in a dramatic drop in cancer mortality. So the need to focus on cancer has never been greater, because in COVID-19 pandemic severely disrupted cancer care, causing patients to miss more than 30 million screenings and 60,000 diagnoses. Which, if that's not shocking, crazy. So the way that this works is basically it's blood testing for cancer, which will allow cancer to be screened way earlier. And it's based on biomarkers. So this is like how many like the changes in the molecules in your blood, basically. Major advancements in that. I'm going to get a specialist to come in and explain all of this one day. So let's keep going. So electric vehicles. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. So this is mad. Look at, so the left side is gas-powered vehicles. The right side is electric vehicles. Look at what's been happening to gas-powered vehicles.
Are these new sales?
Yeah, they're going backwards. Look at electric vehicles.
Yeah, because people know they're not gonna
It's just not
be
efficient.
able to even like buy them soon.
Yeah, it's because of the branding as well. Like, you know, they're
There's
going
a lot of laws coming through that are like pushing towards electrical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So what's happened also is the price of an electric vehicle that can do 300 mile range is now the same. It's the price has dramatically dropped. So the Tesla Model 3 was the first vehicle that could do 300-mile range, and we can now see it's actually cheaper than your average new vehicle transaction price, which is very interesting. And what's also caused the uptick is 2022 saw the release of the following electric vehicles that can do 300 miles: BMW, Rivian, Lucid, Kia, Hyundai, Mercedes, and GMC. All of them dropped their vehicles. Now, what was interesting is BMW had they were the leaders in electric vehicles. The i8 was the one. They had no competition. And then they just took their foot off the pedal, literally.
Also, Volkswagen just released a whole series of e-vehicles this year, I think.
Yep.
All over the place at this point.
Yeah. So global battery electric vehicle sales, autonomous ride hailing. So this is very interesting stuff, this stuff. Okay, so autonomous taxis. So remember I was talking about Tesla before and about their neural networks. This is how much cars they have collecting data, the different companies. Waymo has 1,000 cars. Cruise has 100 cars. Baidu has 500. Pony has 300. Xpeng has 270,000. And Tesla has 2.7 million cars collecting data. Now, I'm not going to say it's a good investment, but there's having no competition, and then there is being 10x ahead of your nearest competition. That is redonkulous. So what's going to happen is whether they've got a complete monopoly on the neural networks of cars. So other companies are going to have to buy that data off them. They have to, or else they'll go out of business. So that's the interesting bit there. Oh yeah, so this is mad interesting. Autonomous taxis could eliminate 60% of short-haul airline flights. With prices ranging from $4 to $0.25, robo taxis could be more attractive option of 60% of short-haul airline flights based on time and cost savings, including transport to and from airports. So, yeah, that's a crazy idea.
Oh
Raise
man,
that
that's mad.
50p per mile. A robot taxi would be less expensive than more than half of short-haul airline flights. That's mad.
That's crazy cheap.
At 0.25 per mile, they'll be more cost effective than 95% of short haul journeys. Yeah. So plane companies are in a bit of trouble. They just recovered from COVID and now they're about to get punched in the face again. So yeah, bad times for them. So yeah, this gets even more interesting. Autonomous logistics. Now, these are the prices currently. These are the prices that they're going to be. Self-driving trucks versus human-driven trucks is literally a minus 2x. So basically 100% cheaper. So who is the car company that has self-driving trucks?
Tesla.
Oh yeah, it's Tesla. And who has the most data to feed their self-driving trucks? Oh yeah, Tesla. So who's going to be able to get the most corporate contracts for their self-driving trucks? And whoever has these self-driving trucks means that their deliveries and their efficiency is going to be miles better than all their competitors. Oh yeah, Tesla. So I'm not saying it's good investment, but do your own research. So when it comes to
There are also, sorry to interrupt, there are also other self-driving truck companies that are out there as well that have also got their own power stations as well that have been doing things for quite a long time. But obviously, yeah, they don't compare to Tesla, and they are sort of in the limelight of Tesla, I guess, in the shadows behind them, following what they do. But yeah, I think that space as a whole is an incredible. It has an incredible growth within it.
Yep. So this is the area that we're gonna see literally from this year. All of a sudden, the roads are gonna be full of these self-rolling traffic robots. So these human delivery cost roughly $2.40 per trip,
Unreliable.
and is unreliable and comes late and your food's cold and whatever. Robots will be able to do that for 40 cents. Small package delivery is $5.40 on average. With a drone, that would be 25 cents. So if you're a company, which one are you going for? What that does for the margins for companies, crazy. So all these companies that are down at the moment, if you said to them, oh, well, we can increase your margins by 6.5x or 22x, are they going to take that option?
Also, most companies that make products will choose that if it's cheaper.
Of course they will. So this is the difference globally. So in France, it costs £9.41 on average for a parcel delivery. And with a drone, it would be 25 cents. If food delivery fees on average, DoorDash and Uber Eats ranges between $4 and $10. And with drone delivery, it'd be 0.2 cents. With robot delivery, 0.4 cents. So yeah. If you know anyone that's a drone pilot or is in drones, and they are, all I'm saying is drones and autonomous food delivery or parcel delivery is an untapped space that I don't see anyone in tech talking about. That and 3D printing, I don't see anyone talking about it. Everyone's talking about AI, everyone's talking about blockchain. Nobody is, I'm never hearing anyone talk about 3D printing or drones. So if you know anyone that's got a startup in in 3D printing or drones or self-driving vehicles, delivery vehicles, let me know. So autonomous trucks could be more effective than rail. So not only planes, but trains are getting it in the neck. So you know this thing that they're building called HS2. By the time it's built, it's going to be redundant.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done, British government. Effective spending once
Yeah.
again.
We spent
Yeah.
tens of billions, not billions, millions.
Yep. So yeah, real-time autonomous delivery drone revenue 700 billion by 2030. So robotics and 3D printing. Now this stuff is mad. Are you ready for this next page? Because what you're about to see is crazy. The flippening has happened. This is the amount of items picked and placed per hour by a human in 2022. Around 400 items. In a 2-year window, robots went from 300 to around 1,000.
Jeez.
That is
I
insane.
can't lie, I'm not really surprised there, man. Not really surprised there, bro.
Is that people picking and packing and being on their phones?
No, it's more than that, bro. It's more than that. It's they can go and they can break more health and safety rules than humans, innit? So
Yeah.
they can have a different workflow as well.
True.
True.
I think before we know it, this will be at 2,000. And when it's at 2,000, there is a problem in these warehouses. And talking of these warehouses, who owns more of these picking and packing warehouses than anyone? Amazon. And Amazon is producing 1,000 robots per day.
Mad.
Producing.
Yeah. So the pink side is the amount of new this is the amount of new employees. This is the amount of new robots that they do.
Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna catch up. Yeah.
Yep.
So soon.
And now this is where you realize maybe Amazon are on crud. So in 2019, this was the per 110,000 employees, the entire auto industry globally had 1,300 robots per 1,500 per 10,000 employees. So about 13%. Amazon currently has 3,200 robots per 3,000 employees.
Okay, more robots than employees. Okay.
So to reach Amazon's robot density, the US manufacturing industry would have to add 4 million robots. Amazon has roughly 6 times the unit sales of industrial robots globally. So what?
One thing I don't want anyone to forget as well. It's not just Amazon are not on their own, man. Amazon, Facebook, and Google, they're all one big monster, one big machine.
Yep. And these are the industries that the robots are coming for first. With, well, not robots, but 3D printing. So 3D printing is coming for containers and packaging. That makes sense. Semiconductors and equipment. So microchips, NVIDIA, footwear, plastic products, foundries, consumers, electrical components and equipment, autos. 3D printed cars is going to get wild. That's going to be insane. There's already 3D printed houses. If you haven't seen it already, just go on YouTube and type in 3D printed houses. They've been around for ages. So yeah, that's that. I think we're almost at the end of this report. Yeah, 3D printing is expected to generate 8.4 trillion by 2030, and nobody's talking about it. But out of all the industries, the thing that's going to have the biggest jump is actually 3D printing. At the moment, it's worth 63 million. No, 63 billion, and that's going to jump to 8.4 trillion. That is a pretty mad jump. And then orbital aerospace, just to finish up. This is just about how quickly you can reuse the rockets, and what that does. What people don't realize, what that does is it increases internet coverage, which makes even more people be able to use the internet, 3D print things, use blockchain, use smart contracts, la-di-da-di-da. So the final part of the convergence. So there's currently 600 million people that could get access to the internet through Starlink, 11 million vehicles, 8.5 million boats, 25,000 aircraft, and 100,000 cruise ships and warships. So the area I think is going to be interesting is for military. So again, Mr. Elon.
Oh, then I got a question. Like if there's a hacker that's on crud now with all of this stuff being connected, that's a bit long though for everyone.
Well, it's a bit long because that hacker would have to compete against AI.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing. Yeah, the hacker is not going to beat the AI. The AI hacker is the one that we have to worry about.
Yeah, it's not human hackers that we have to worry about.
Yeah.
That's even worse than AI hacker. That's that's straight out of a movie right there, bro.
Yeah, if it's an AI hacker, it will hack it eventually. But that's where you have to.
It's not straight out of a movie. They've been doing that for years, bro.
Yeah.
Over 10 years, they've had AI hackers.
And I think that's currently happening right now. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We are in the middle of a war. We've been in a war since 2017. But it's just a cyber war. And I think we've got the East versus the West. The AI bots are attacking and doing stuff to each other, which is good because it means less human lives are lost. So yeah, it just sends more people crazy.
It's mad.
So yeah, that is the ARK Invest report. Let's go to some of the questions in the chat. Okay, so we had bossomeai.com from Michelle Voss. Don't know what that is. I'm waiting for AI programs to make people sign agreements prior to producing any works. That will happen. AI lawyers pending. That they already exist.
Yeah, that sure already exists. Yeah.
In our course, in our AI training, in our AI for beginners course, we've got that. We'll plug you in. Prompt engineering. Need to start putting off learning the prompt engineering. Yes, you do. We are going to probably do an episode about prompts and prompting. The best way I would explain AI at the moment is I use this metaphor. Everyone's heard the bread making analogy, but I've got a new one. AI is like a piano. Now, loads of people can look at a piano and press a few keys and make a sound, but not many people can play Beethoven or Mozart, and not many people can do that off the top of their head. And that's the difference. Those that learn to play the keys of AI will be able to unlock things that other people just can't even think about. So it's about taking the time out now to learn the keys. But what are the keys with AI? It's actually human language. It's actually sentence structuring and articulation. So this is where my big worry is that people that use slang are going to have a harder time getting AI to do what they want it to. So if you're a parent or if you're around any young people, I would highly encourage not to allow young people to use slang or to listen to music that uses crazy amounts of slang, because they're just going to really struggle with the world that's coming, because they just won't be able to communicate with AI. And if you can't communicate with AI, then you are literally was it 4 times less efficient than everybody else?
4 times, mad.
Yeah. So
Yeah, slang based. What about slang based AI? Like Osgood saying.
yeah, slang is now actually dangerous.
Mm. I guess if you read books, you should be all right, right? You know, just expand your vocabulary.
Yeah, you've got to. You've literally got to. Or use Quillbot. Save. That's the only way you can still use slang. So Devon says, I'm using a 3D printing for lean manufacturing, and there's also a 3D printed prosthetic startup here in California. I competed against in a pitch competition. Oh, 3D printed prosthetics, that's definitely a big one. Michael, I've got a contact that's selling his drone business for 15 to 20 million. Send that deck, please, so we can pass it on. Should we create a slang-based AI? Yeah? Crap GPT. That would actually be sick. That would actually go off. That, guys, you actually need to do that. I reckon between everyone here, who's already bought the domain, mad God, Jerome. Let's get it done. Let's use ChatGPT to write the code and just create a simple app where it just learns slang and then can do AI tasks in slang, or it talks back to you in slang. Sick, amazing. So that's that. Let's just wrap up today's episode with the news. The newses. There's not much news. But has anybody got any questions? Type them in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Okay, so the top gainers have been CoinFlux, as we can see, has done 1,789% in Q1, which is amazing. Stacks did 339. Aptos did 228. Mutable X did 196. Crazy. In DeFi, Trader Joe up there with 352%. Camelot did 1,359%. That's mad. Oh, TrueFi is still about. Keish.
Yeah, they're gonna be still about, bro. They didn't dip out. They just, they got hit real
They just
hard,
went
but
quiet.
they ain't dipped out, bro. They got a whole stable token, bro. They're not gonna go nowhere. They got stupid capital behind them.
Interesting.
Yeah, and obviously you know who they're with as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
everyone who doesn't do your own research, and you'll see who they're with, and you're gonna be like, oh, those lot. But yeah, they got hit hard though.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Other things that are up GameFi wise, I really want to know what the hell Outer Ring, Hello Labs, and Ludena are. Seppi, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you add these to the list and get me a little research doc on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the top 5.
Right. Hello, labs.
Top 6. Then NFT tokens. We can see again some bangers there. And exchanges. BitGet was up. What the hell? Nah. BitGet was up. When did that happen?
That is lit. They probably got some investors on board or something.
Mad. 10X is still out here, you know, mad. So Binance and CZ sued by the CFTC over regulatory violations. Also in news that you need to pay attention to, EOS has actually passed its case with the SEC and it officially isn't a security. Note that. EOS, not a security officially.
What does that mean?
Interesting. So even though all these other tokens have got lawsuits coming for them, this is the one that won't have a lawsuit coming for it.
Okay.
Explain what is security.
So a security is when it means that the success of it is based on other people's investment. Pretty much. So Ethereum core devs confirm April 12th date for the Chapella upgrade, otherwise known as Shanghai upgrade. Ledger taps 1.4 billion valuation after securing 109 million funding, and Circle brings USDC to Cosmos. So, what do we expect to happen with Cosmos? Absolutely nothing. But do your own research. Bitcoin quarterly returns up at 72%, and you probably saw in the chat that I put, if you've been dollar cost averaging since November 2021, you're actually up 10% on Bitcoin, which is crazy. And then UNICEF are planning to launch a DAO. Interesting. And Andy Warhol's artworks to be offered as tokenized investments on Ethereum. And then the top searched things: Arbitrum, Space ID, Aptos, Radiant Capital, Crypto GPT, and Starknet.
Andy Warhol's been killing it in the blockchain space. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a lot.
He has. So that's that. Let's read these questions. How do you see this China and Brazil ditching the dollar?
Oh,
No,
affecting the dollar.
there was a big article in the news, I think today, literally about China and thinking like the CFDCs.
Oh, the CBDCs.
CBDC, that's the one.
China and who? Brazil got one as well.
Some like major big countries. I can't remember what it was. But what I'm saying is it was in mainstream news.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. So yeah, that is it. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much to ARK Invest. Thank you.
Oh yeah, what I gotta say about that question before you close up.
Go on.
The dealings have been dealt with.
What there's surely no one here on this call thinks that America is still gonna be okay.
I'm just saying the dealings have been dealt with. There's countries already that are changing and shifting their portfolios to change the world reserve currency on their country. It's already happening. So
It's already happened. Like
it's already
America
happening.
could go to war and make Libya and other smaller countries that try to launch their own central bank currency, like they could do that. It's pretty difficult to go against Brazil and China and Russia at the same time. That's pretty mad. But the question is, are those in power and with money in the West that stupid, that greedy? That is all we have to ask ourselves.
I mean,
Dom says yes. I would also say yes, they are. And on that note, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you next week.
Take care,
Or
guys.
NFT Fridays on Friday.